I was amazed by the remarkable patience of the Liverpool fans who were queuing there, who were having the gates that they were trying to get into after their queue for about 2.5 hours. And they were having those gates closed by confused stewards. I experienced UEFA's incompetence, poor stewarding, a lack of leadership, certainly of the stewards and of the police, who were indiscriminately tear gassing. I mean, I got caught up in it. Certainly a drift of the tear gas, which I've not been tear gassed since Marseille at France '98. So, and there were kids in there. There was a 10-year-old girl who turned around to her parents and said, "Just take me home. I'm scared." And these are kids who should be falling in love with the game at that age, and they're being put off, possibly for life. So it was, look, they're configuration issues when you walk up from the RER on the metro, and because you go through these underpasses, and that was exacerbated by extra blocks that the police had put in, which basically funneled the Liverpool fans into very, very, very tight corners and up against walls at some point.
Why do you think it was so chaotic? What is this down to a lack of planning, a lack of leadership? Is it anything to do with the fact that the Stade de France was only awarded this 3 months ago? I mean, presumably 3 months is enough time to get things together.
Yes, I mean, you can talk about lack of planning. They only put the pitch in 2-3 days before, so there were some issues there. I mean, it was, it's a catalogue of issues, but essentially it comes back to UEFA have been talking for a long time about the importance of fans, and then they didn't show them any respect when they turned up. And I was amazed by the remarkable patience of the Liverpool fans who were queuing there, who were having the gates that they were trying to get into after their queue for about 2.5 hours. And they were having those gates closed by confused stewards. So, and the lie that UEFA came up with and put on the screens in the stadium, that the game had been delayed initially 15 minutes, eventually 37 minutes, by the late arrival of fans, was quite rightly roundly booed by the Liverpool fans inside the stadium, because they got there on time. They were there sort of 2.5, 3 hours before, and many even before that. So, it was incompetence by UEFA and a touch of arrogance from them as well.
What about the issue of fake tickets? We know UEFA has said that many Liverpool fans had fake tickets and that was the problem. I know Andy Robertson, the Liverpool defender, has said, look, I gave my mate a ticket and he couldn't get in because he was told it was a fake ticket, and it absolutely was not. Are we clear what happened there?
Well, Andy Robertson's ticket will have come from the club, which will have come from UEFA. So UEFA have got to be careful what they're saying. If they can't imagine UEFA will be coming out with fake tickets. The Liverpool fans I spoke to, they had genuine tickets. I think there's also an issue here of the original allocations. I know the Stade de France capacity had to come down an element because of the expanded media broadcast, but also they have to look at the huge numbers of tickets that go to corporates. I know that that's where UEFA make much of their money from, but what do we want, particularly after the pandemic? You want the genuine fans in the ground, generating the atmosphere, which television pays so hugely for. So UEFA have got to look at the original allocations, were patently far too small. I'm off to Wembley for the Championship playoff final, and there's a far better allocation there, which is split between the two clubs, Huddersfield Town and Nottingham Forest. Look, that's slightly different. It's a Championship playoff, less corporate interest. But UEFA keep talking about the importance of fans and then don't show them respect when it matters.